Hey guys, Thursday morning, kinda early. Rainbow came by, being a little weird cat. Wants to hang out. That's cool. It's actually pretty foggy out. Kinda surprised that it's still foggy. Saw lots of pictures online about the fog yesterday. And yeah. Rainbow was hissing at something. It was this raccoon. Poor guy, looks like he's got a limp. Probably hard to be a raccoon. But yeah, kinda neat to see. A raccoon not inside of a house. And yeah, it's about 10:30 now. And if you watched all of yesterday's video, I'm gonna go head over to the Amigo store and probably get a new bike. Found a whistle on the ground. Must be my lucky day, because also the only bike in the station is an e-bike with a battery, so I can take it out. And yeah, just rode down Palmerston. And I did kind of think, like, what if I just did Uber deliveries on the bike share with the e-bikes? I do see guys take them out and they have their own locks. They chain lock them up when they're not using them. And they'll sit on the charging stands or whatever until they get an order, and then they head off doing their deliveries. That's certainly one way to go about it, but I don't want to do it like that. So yeah, Amigo. Their store's kind of small here, so these are all the display bikes. There are a few that are like kind of more expensive, but here's the Pace 500, just like online. It is the $1,700. It'll come with fenders and a color display unit, which, like, who cares about that? But yeah, the rear axle looks like there's plenty of space for when I want to attach a trailer thing. And the wires aren't kind of taut. Like Don's bike, one of the wires is kind of tied up there. And yeah, I'm just taking it for a test ride right now. Kind of just cause, if anything really obvious felt weird, maybe don't buy the bike kind of thing. But it is pretty much what I expect. You go fast, you pedal, just like with Don's bike. The pedal sensor just senses if you're pedaling it. There's no torque measurement, so it is a little bit like if you wanted to, you could just like move your legs without actually like pedaling any force on this kind of bike, which is something I really liked about the Giant Explorer series. So like having the mid-drive had the torque sensor, and it really gave you like fine control over how much speed you get, whereas on this kind of bike it's kind of just on or off, and did feel a little bit more gradual. Like I remember feeling like you're getting more of a kick on Don's bike, but maybe that's just because I got used to it over time. But it is still kind of there with the rear wheel motor. But that should have its own advantages. If I had motor issues on this kind of bike, changing the motor is as simple as changing the wheel. And it should be less expensive compared to the mid-drive bikes, where it's like a whole ordeal. And yeah. So felt good, brought it back, and talked to the guy, and yeah, I'm gonna get this bike. And if you, as just like a general customer, you would get a 1-year warranty, but I don't know, I didn't want to lie to the guy. He did ask if I was gonna do Uber Eats or whatever. And since I do Uber Eats, they gave me $85 off, but that means that my warranty is going to be 6 months instead of a year. Which I was thinking of lying to them, like online. It says 2-year warranty, but yeah, whatever. Kind of just need the bike, So yeah, November and December, those are going to be good months to work. And if I because I want to save up money to not work in January and February. So, yeah, it just makes sense to buy a new bike. Because missing out on November and December with the the current giant bike would kind of, suck. Like, I'm not enjoying going out there and riding with it. And I kind of spend around, well, I want to make it like 1.5k, and my rent is like $850, and spend at least like $200 on food every month. My expenses kind of wind up being like 1.4k. So that's kind of the goal, is to like get back up into the things. Like, I had saved up about $7,000 to just make it through the winter months without having to work too much. But that was kind of assuming that I'd also like at least stay stable with November and December income. So I'm going down to like $5,000 buying this bike, but the joy of riding a new bike, I think, is gonna make me earn more than I would on average. Like, I've definitely been cutting a lot of my deliveries short, or like not accepting deliveries that take me into like weird places that are worth the money, but like I don't want to go too far away from home, because then I'm gonna have to pedal back on like, what if the bike completely craps out kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know, I still feel good about the purchase. I just paid for it outright, because I don't know, I trust that they're gonna put it together today or tomorrow, in current times. And yeah, I was kind of surprised about all these bikes back at the station. I guess during the time I was gone, they restocked the station, which haven't really noticed that before. Kind of hard to notice, since I usually don't come back to a station so quick. But yeah, for the rest of the day, as you probably know from the title, I'm gonna go to the island. I'm taking out the Explorer on its last ride, the retirement ride. Yeah, it did turn off like 4 times on my way to the ferry station, or the ferry terminal. So, kind of confirms that it's over for this bike. And, on the upside, the battery being worth like $1,000 new, that alone means that like maybe I could find a buyer for the whole bike for at least like $500, right? Like, it is a used battery, but there is still some value in some of the parts of it. So I'm kind of hoping I'll get a bit back on it. Kind of just accepted it as a loss. But anyways, meet up with Adam. We're here at like their lunch break, I guess, and there's no ferry for like half an hour or something. So we just hung out at the park next to the ferry terminal, and yeah, he brought hot chocolate, pretty tasty. And then after hanging out, we're gonna go back. This squirrel's crazy, begging for food. We kind of assumed that the terminal would be like empty because of how foggy it is. Who would want to go to the island? And I mean, there's not a lot of people here compared to in the summer when it's like a touristy time to go. But there's still more people than I was kind of expecting. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a neat time to go in the fog. See how it is. And we're at the back of the ferry, so we get to see Toronto fade off into the fog as we enter the deep ocean. And it does kind of feel like we're in the deep ocean, because it doesn't take that long until you like can't see anything. The fog is still pretty thick. Yeah. The deep ocean, completely gone over there. And even at the front, it's far enough away from the island that it still looks like, yep, we could be anywhere. But it doesn't take that long for us to get close to enough to the island that you can start seeing stuff. And yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. Lots of island residents or people doing deliveries and stuff using big cargo trailers, and this guy's got a dog and a basket bike. Nice. So yeah, Adam's never explored this neighborhood on the island, so I'm gonna ride through here. Check this out. Very nice. You know, it's just nice to see all the little houses around here. It's cute, cottage-esque. I guess this house is looking a little bit more modern compared to some of the other houses, but I don't know, that's cool. And I think this was called like Frida's Garden and Beach or something. And yeah, it's cool. Can't see the city at all still. But yeah, gonna check out the seawall. Is what it feels like. Oh yeah, that mossy rooftop. And this house with the big boat in front of it. Well, it's not that big, but boat in front of it. But yeah, here's the seawall. And yeah, you can see that shipping cargo ship or whatever next to Cherry Beach. We walked over to the north end of the seawall. And yeah, I don't know why there's a fence here. People seem to have opened it up. I wonder what the danger was that the fence was supposed to stop you from checking out. The only danger that we found, well, other than just general water danger, is syringes on the ground. Well, one syringe, but one syringe is enough. As well as this crack pipe or whatever this is. I'm like, that's not what I want to see out here. But yeah, kind of a longer episode. We kind of just are like hanging out, you know. Gotta get out in the world and explore a little bit sometimes. Not exactly covering a ton of new ground here or anything, but there's lots of details that we haven't seen on the island still. And yeah, checking out the boardwalk for a bit here. It's looking pretty cool. Enjoying that there's nobody else around. And ate a bit of a lunch. Adam packed sandwiches. It's a great sandwich. It's kind of reigniting my love of bread. Not that I ever fell out of love with bread, but like, it's a good reminder that you're like, yo, bread, buns, tasty. So yeah, rode along the boardwalk for a bit here. And like, yeah, it really feels like nobody else is around. Like, we'll see a couple people around, but compared to how crowded it gets sometimes, like, yeah, very nice to just enjoy a foggy island time. And yeah, we're heading over by the pier now. You know, all the business parts of it are closed because no one's really coming out. Look at how empty that beach is. There's like no one on it. Maybe two people, I don't know, in the distance. But yeah, the Y pier. Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I should show you the horizon. It's just foggy out there. Guess how much this High Spy viewing thing costs? $2. Two $1 coins. What? Like a quarter, I get it. You know, you want to make a little bit of money or something. But $2? You don't want to make any money then. People are going to be like, well, there's not even a view, it's just water. Why pay $2 to look at water? You look at nice water over here. The beach part. I kind of wonder, like, I don't remember it being that low. Like, maybe this is just, like, the water's low this time of year, but I feel like, could they have added rocks to the seawall? Probably not. And, yeah, give the bike a bit of a full speed ride. And, kind of surprised, once I got to the island, the bike held up pretty well. Like, it only turned off, like, 2 or 3 times the whole time we were out here. I guess we weren't riding around super heavily or anything, but, you know, it's still working a little bit, which is nice for its last ride. I mean, I'm probably gonna ride it like a little bit, but this is its last trip kind of thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, we found some Bluetooth earbuds, which, you know, I just left there because gross, but interesting. So yeah, I should look up, I'll add the name of this beach, but this is that beach that they've put a bunch of money into. They're rehabilitating, gonna hopefully get some dunes going. I assume they've also added all these rocks to the beach. They make it kind of like you have a nice shallows area. And it's pretty calm here. The waves don't they're not breaking directly on the sand, so hopefully it should stay sandy over here. Will be pretty cool. Seems very natural, except for all the garbage that's around. And I've been carrying around this plastic bag, thinking that, the next time I'm out in nature and doing like a bit of a walk around, as I sometimes do, we're gonna pick up some trash. And yeah, we picked up some trash on the beach. We didn't want to do anything too gross though. Like, there's so many cigarette butts on the beach. Like, people are bad people sometimes. They just flick their cigarette on the beach and now it's full of cigarettes. Like, are they stupid? Like, all those white specks, most of them are cigarette butts. Pretty annoying. It's like, can't we have a nice thing, guys? With a scuba fin here. I didn't pick up the scuba fin because it's kind of too big for the bag, and who knows, maybe someone's coming back for that scuba fin. But yeah, we walked to the end of the rehabilitated beach part. It looks like someone's tried to set this log on fire, which is kind of a shame. The logs are a part of the dune rehabilitation kind of thing. Act as kind of buffers and stuff, I'm pretty sure. And they're just fun to play on, And then we're walking along the water again. All this trash, oh my god. So much trash. Adam finds another syringe. I'm like, yeah, that's not great. But yeah, we picked up some stuff, but some stuff is just too gross to touch with a direct, or even a gloved hand. I'm like, I don't want to touch that. And yeah, did a decent half a bag, I guess. So we're gonna keep on riding. Once you're visiting the island on a bicycle, it really makes the island feel small. So we're gonna ride across the whole island. Started at Ward's and now we're over at the airport part of the island. Forget what this one is called, the ferry terminal. I think it's like the Handlands Point terminal or something. And yeah, airport's over there. They're still doing their thing. And yeah, we're pretty much just heading back. Plenty of other stuff to see. Getting that good look at the beach. Yeah. And the washroom doors were still open here. It's actually the cleanest I've ever seen this washroom. Usually the floor is covered in water from the swimmers and stuff, but also probably piss. Not today though, very clean. And yeah, just kind of a surreal moment to be by this beach with nobody on it. And yeah, we're I don't know, a kilometer or two away from a city of millions, and there's just nobody around. So yeah, we're gonna check out the William Meany Maze. I feel like Adam loves this maze. He's like, yeah, I pretty much have this maze memorized. Not actually, but pretty much. And classic Adam, he starts running around the maze. And then I'm like, how did you get over there, bro? But yeah, I found him. Adam's version of completing the maze is just to go through the beginning and then it does loop, so you get back to the beginning. But we didn't hit up the middle of the maze, which to me is like the goal is to get to the middle of the maze. So we're like running around trying to race to the middle, and yeah, it's kind of fun to run through a maze runner over here. Yeah, they definitely like to use the perimeter of the maze to make the maze longer. Like, if you want a shortcut through that maze, head to the perimeter and then walk a while and then loop back, basically. But we do find the center of the maze, and you can see where people are getting lazy and just jump over the fence. It's killed the bushes in some spots. But yeah, it's another break time. Hung out on the bench, broke into our snacks that we brought. I also brought stuff, and oh yeah, Don made Nanaimo bars. They were ultra sweet, which I mean that's how Nanaimo bars are. But I was like, oh man, so sweet. And yeah, the fog is starting to lift. You can see the CN Tower again. It's that's cool. So yeah, headed over to the what is this called? Centersville, the sort of amusement park or whatever. You know, all this stuff is closed. And I wanted to see if the farm animals are still at the petting zoo, but they weren't. I think they slaughter them every year for like the fall harvest or whatever, and they bring in the new cuter animals. Get those new piglets in. And yeah. Over here is Olympic Island. I've never been to this island before, which is weird, right? Like, I've been to the island a bunch of times, but there's still sections of the island that I haven't gone to. And there's a very nice view here that's like honestly kind of just as good as the Algonquin Island view that I always like to go to. But I think what happens is I get off and then I just follow that path to the islands, right? When really, you know, if you want to check this out, you gotta go over this way. You gotta do a bit of a loop, which kind of feels like out of the way of like the other things, but it's worth it, guys. This is a nice way to start off your visit to the island if you go to the Center Island Ferry Terminal area. And pretty good spot to watch the planes. And yeah, you know, just looking at the skyline, you can really see the difference in size of some of the buildings. Kind of wondering about those two buildings on the right of the screen right now. Like, I'm not sure where those are. You know, they're still under construction, as you could probably see, but they're big buildings over there. Almost at the size of the banking buildings that are unnecessarily large. But yeah, Olympic Island, pretty nice. There's also this theater here, the Lagoon Theater. I guess it's probably like a community theater or something. It was locked, not like there's anything actually going on, but yeah, I don't know, just a neat thing to see. But yeah, riding over this bridge, I guess a bunch of times I've been here, there's usually a huge lineup to get onto the ferry to go back to the city. So maybe that kind of hides that there's a bridge there to go over to that island. You know, easy to miss. And we got about 45 minutes-ish to kill until the next ferry off of the island. So, you know, I wanted to check out the bushes near the disc golf course. When I was here last time with Matt, we did this for a little bit, but we didn't find anything. And I always thought that in the fall it would be easier, you know, assuming people had lost their discs in the summer when there was more leaves and hard, you know, easier to lose stuff. Now that there's less leaves, like, we can see into the bushes and stuff. Assuming the discs aren't covered by leaves. But yeah, we looked around for a bit, didn't find anything. My shoes are a little bit wet. Time to get back on our bikes and ride around. This is another island that I've never been to, South Chippewa Island. It is mostly just this path, and then on to the right is just like forests. So, pretty natural island. On the other side of this gate is the North Chippewa Island, but it's private property. You can't go on that island at all. Kind of annoying, but that's how it is. So yeah, we're heading back. Gonna hang out at the Wards Island Terminal. I didn't notice it, but the boat is coming right now. And yeah, get to enjoy a bit of that golden hour. Still lots of people getting off of the ferry. Kind of surprised. Like, how many people live on the island? Like, are there tourists coming at this hour? I guess maybe. And yeah, the ride back, we had a truck on the ferry. Yeah. It's nice. You get to see the skyline. And yeah, good time. So, yeah. Back on the mainland. Em's pretty much ready to go home. I'm also pretty much ready to go home. So, once we got to the Martin Goodman Trail, this is where we're gonna split up. And, yeah, just took this over to Simcoe, and they've ruined Simcoe Street with a construction project that blocks Simcoe Street north and southbound. It also messes with Adelaide Street. It's like, man, Adelaide Street was already a shit show. Who knows how long this is going to be here, but once they get the new bike, I'm going to have to be aware. I was like, just don't even bother with Adelaide Street. King is the new Adelaide Street. But yeah, just a lot of bikes out today. That's always, that's kind of nice to see, you know, people still out biking. Still nice weather for it, guys. And, yeah. Going up Palmerston now. Back home. What a day, guys. Kind of a long episode. Almost half an hour. Not that much happened. Hope you guys liked seeing the island. Later.